You're watching NBC 10 Boston. News worthy of you.
A first alert for Tuesday. We have a plowable snow on the way. I'll let you know how much and the timing all coming up.
And a fire rips through a building in Brookline. We'll tell you how many families are now out of their homes. Plus, Boston police are saying this teen hasn't been seen in days. We'll tell you where the 15-year-old was last seen. All right, let's start with the weather because we had some snow today in the Boston area. I'm sure you noticed. Not a big deal, little or no accumulation on the roadways, but we are expecting inches of snow in just a couple days. Justin, how many inches of snow are we expecting?
Well, I'll tell you, it looks like at least a solid 2 to 4 inches, and that would be the largest storm of the season so far. Not to say that that is a large storm, but with how little snow we've seen, this one's going to be bigger than almost every other event that's come in. 19 degrees right now. It actually is snowing very lightly, though. We've seen a couple reports coming in close to 2 inches in Worcester County throughout the day, so a little bit more of an overachiever from this little area of snowfall. From Waltham straight along 20 into Sudbury, we're getting a decent band of snowfall, but that may very well be the last one of the evening as some drier air begins to work in. The Cape has done quite well here. I mean, some heavier snow right now from Wellfleet right back down to Chatham, Brewster. And as you work a little further towards the west here in parts of Barnstable County, you're starting to dry out. So again, last band of snow coming through. It did put down as much as 2 inches in spots. Temperatures now bitterly cold, and that's one of the reasons why we've actually seen some accumulation from what is very, very light snow. When you're 19 in Boston, it doesn't take much snow to accumulate. Certainly very favorable for that. 17 in Worcester. We have Plymouth checking in at 19 degrees. And as we look forward in time, we see things begin to clear out throughout the overnight. It's a cold night. Numbers as you wake up on Sunday morning are going to be in the upper teens, lower 20s. More clouds roll in throughout the day on Sunday, and some more snow is possible heading into the afternoon. This is about 12:15, so Framingham 36. We're above freezing. Plymouth around 36 degrees. And there you see it, just a couple scattered light flurries possible for Sunday afternoon. We got to talk about the bigger storm coming up on Tuesday. I'll have all those details in just a few moments. Darren, back to you.
Thank you, Justin. And of course, firefighters had to work in that snow and the cold, and 2 families are now out of their homes while they fought that fire. The fire ripping right through a building in Brookline. The fire was at a duplex on Beaconsfield Road this morning. And at one point, emergency responders even had to close that road. NBC 10's Diane Cho is live right now. She's been covering this story all day. And Diane, you know, what can we expect to hear from firefighters moving forward about this fire?
Well, the cause is still under investigation right now, Darren, but crews were out here boarding up this house here. They just wrapped up their work moments ago with most of the damage here on the 2nd and 3rd floors. Fortunately, firefighters say that all 4 residents who lived in this duplex were able to get out unharmed. Scary moments for a couple and their baby after a fire broke out at this Brookline duplex.
One family is a single person. One family is a couple with one 8-month-old child. Everyone evacuated safely.
Firefighters say they got a 911 call just before 9 o'clock on Saturday morning here on Beaconsfield Road. The residents in one unit alerting their neighbors downstairs to what was going on.
We know it's accidental. The family was on scene where we think it originated on the 2nd floor. They did notice there was some electrical issues and a light odor of smoke.
Firefighters were able to get the fire under control within an hour and a half, battling strong winds and frigid temperatures on top of the heavy flames.
They were hindered a little bit by the extreme cold, but we have a 3rd alarm to help recuperate the early firefighters that were here. The hydrant system stood up to the cold, and we are having some ice problems. As you can see, they were putting some salt and sand down, mainly to reduce slip and fall hazards.
And again, the cause is still under investigation tonight. We're told that no one was hurt, and firefighters say that damages are estimated around $500,000. Live in Brookline tonight, Diane Cho, NBC 10 Boston.
Well, thanks for that update, Diane. And with cold temperatures, warming centers will be open in Lawrence. There's one on Haverhill Street and another on Hampshire Street at the Lazarus House. The shelters are meant to help the city's homeless population and will open at 8 o'clock tonight through Sunday morning. A bus will be going around to give rides to the shelters. And with snow falling in Boston right now, a reminder that if any snow accumulates on your car, make sure you clear it off before you hit the road. It's a law. If it freezes in place and you don't clear it, it can be really dangerous as well. For example, while driving yesterday, a car driven by the fire chief in Lexington was smashed with flying ice from a car in front of him. He was driving alone and luckily saw it coming and swerved. The passenger side of the windshield was hit.
It was completely shocking. It hit the car with a tremendous amount of force, as you can see, sending glass and everything into the car.
And the chief was able to follow the driver, get the license plate, and report it to state police. The driver was cited. A reminder again that drivers who cause these sorts of incidents can face fines or even criminal charges. And Boston police are looking for your help finding a missing teenager. This is 15-year-old Daniela Tolbert. She's from Dorchester, and police say she was last seen Thursday on Faiston Street. We're told Tolbert has a nose ring and braces. If you've seen her, call Boston police. And Delta baggage systems at Logan Airport are back up and running after an outage this morning. Delta Airlines says the outage was brief, but it still affected Delta passengers and their flights. Delta says the average delay of the flights that were affected was about 30 to 40 minutes. In a statement replying to the outage, Delta said, quote, Delta teams work diligently to keep flights moving as quickly and safely as possible, and we apologize to our customers for any inconvenience to their travel plans. No word on the cause of the outage at this time. And a 48-year-old man is dead after a shootout with police near MGM Casino in Springfield. Authorities say the shooting was at 2 o'clock this morning after getting reports of a man acting aggressively and possibly being armed at the casino. Police then found the man after leaving the casino, heading towards Main and Union Streets. After the shootout, the man was hit and later taken to a hospital where he died. Authorities said they'll be investigating the use of force in the shooting. Authorities are investigating the death of a New Hampshire woman in the U.S. Virgin Islands on Tuesday. But police said the boyfriend of 42-year-old Jamie Kale left a local bar to check on her at their residence there. And when he got there, he said he found her on the floor. The case is under investigation. Anyone with information on Kale or the case should call police. And police across New England are stepping up patrols today around houses of worship over concerns of a potential day of hate organized by neo-Nazi groups. NBC 10's Malcolm Johnson joins us live in Boston right now. And Malcolm, what details do we know at this time about the warnings?
Well, Darren, right now we are joining you just outside of the Boston Synagogue, and we know police departments, as you mentioned, across the region are preparing for this potential National Day of Hate. They have issued alerts, some of them on their social media accounts. Nothing has occurred to this point. No hateful incidents at any places of worship. But as one member of the synagogue just behind me said to me just before we went on air, that's to this point. So they remain watchful of what could happen throughout the remainder of the evening. Police departments, including Cambridge and Brookline, have increased their patrols around places of worship. This all comes after threats were shared online by extremist groups. The groups have called for anti-Semitic flyers, demonstrations, and graffiti. NBC 10 Boston spoke with the Anti-Defamation League interim director of the New England office. Take a listen.
As the Jewish Sabbath approaches, we're calling on communities and people to embrace this weekend as a time of peace and to let peace win over a designated day of hate by extremist groups.
And ADL members tell me that they are relieved that no incidents of hate have occurred again to this point. We're live tonight reporting in Boston. I'm Malcolm Johnson, NBC 10 Boston.
Thank you, Malcolm. And right now, MBTA Transit Police are asking for your help. They hope you can identify two people after an attack at Davis Square Station earlier this week. Here's a look at those two suspects in question. The woman says she was harassed with racial slurs before being attacked at the station in Somerville. If you know these people, you can call police. And Boston police need your help identifying this man as well. They say he's connected to multiple armed robberies in the Hyde Park area. There's been an uptick in convenience store robberies over the past few months, with the most recent happening on Monday on River Street. Police say in each incident, the robber showed a gun and possibly left on a scooter. If you recognize him, call police. And caught on camera in Wisconsin, part of a parking garage collapsing. After the break, find out what caused a ramp for this structure to collapse, trapping some vehicles inside. And the CDC is stepping in weeks after a train carrying hazardous chemicals derailed in Ohio. What they're looking into, plus Justin's tracking that wintry weather.
Yeah, I got some snow falling right now. We'll have more going into Sunday. I don't think it amounts to too much, but Tuesday, that storm, we could have a plowable snow from. We'll talk all about it coming up after the break.
Okay, breaking news right into our newsroom. A 5-year-old boy is suffering life-threatening injuries after being hit by a car in Foxborough tonight. This happened earlier around 11 a.m. on Central Street. Police believe the boy was playing outside and was hit by a car while crossing the street. The boy is now being treated at Hasbro Children's Hospital. Police are still investigating now how the crash happened, and the driver is fully complying with police. And crews are still working to clear debris and snow after a parking garage partially collapsed at a Wisconsin mall earlier this week. The security footage shows the exact moment the garage's third floor ramp crumbled under the weight of snow. Authorities said that caused a domino effect, causing concrete to collapse all the way through the first level. Thankfully, there were no injuries, but 2 cars were destroyed and some vehicles remain trapped inside even as of tonight. And 3 weeks after dangerous fumes poured out of a small Ohio town's car, the train car in East Palestine, the CDC is finally investigating the health risks from that train derailment that caused it. The team of 19 is interviewing residents in the town of 5,000 about their symptoms and potential health risks. As of right now, some residents and workers have reported headaches, rashes, and respiratory problems. Some have been diagnosed with bronchitis. No word on when their findings will go out to the public. And take a look at this, a flooded freeway out of Sun Valley, California, where at least 5 cars are submerged. This flooding comes from the historic winter storm hitting parts of Los Angeles County. It's almost completely underwater due to severe flooding across the region, and it appears the passengers were able to exit the cars. No word on their injuries.
First Alert Weather on NBC 10 Boston. Boston's most accurate forecast, certified by Weather Rate.
We don't have severe flooding, but we did see some snow today in the Boston area, but that was nothing compared to what we might see in just a couple days. Justin, I'm hearing 3 to 6 inches of snow.
Good bet for 3 to 6. Yeah, I like that number, Darren, because we are going to have a system that comes through. It's not a blockbuster nor'easter. It's not the biggest we've ever seen, but for this season, it may very well be the biggest. We are going to see some snow that continues here on again, off again till about 9, 10 o'clock tonight. Modest accumulations from this. Actually, a couple spots in Worcester County picking up north of 2 inches. I don't see much additional accumulation, but it's really cold, so anything that does fall could glaze over the roadways just a bit here, add a little sugar coating on some of the side roads. Total snow for the season, 10.3 inches in Boston. We added a little bit to this number, not a lot. We should be at 36.8. I don't see Tuesday's storm getting us anywhere near making up this deficit, but it will be the biggest storm of the season as we see it now. Worcester, 21 inches on the season, 54.7 where you should be, so obviously a big deficit in snowfall. This is Monday night. I don't think the snow is all the way into the Boston area by Monday night, probably 10, 11 p.m. That's when the first flakes begin to fall. In Worcester, though, just about 9 o'clock or so, I see your first flakes coming down. This will not impact the Monday evening commute home, but it will certainly impact the Tuesday morning rush. This is Tuesday morning now. Snow overspreading all of New England for the most part. Rain snow line looks to be well down towards coastal Connecticut, so this is going to start as snow for all of Massachusetts and certainly the Boston area. Continuing as snow into your afternoon on Tuesday, but then a little bit of warmer air tries to mix in. And the big question is, how far inland does this get? It will cut back on totals, certainly for the Cape and the islands, but will it cut back for totals in, let's say, eastern Essex County here? That remains to be seen. That's something we need to fine tune, certainly. Tuesday evening, again, still the chance for some mixing. That's the big if factor here. If you notice, though, the whole time, Worcester is in the snow band. So Worcester getting a decent accumulation here from this system. First crack at totals, about 6 to 8 inches for Worcester and some of the more elevated areas, the Worcester Hills. 4 to 6 just to the west of Boston, and then down, let's say, towards the Norfolk County area, interior parts of it, and even northern parts of Bristol County could be in on that 4 to 6. Once you get down towards the coast, though, where the mixing can occur, we're going to cut back substantially here. Parts of Plymouth County, Barnstable County, 2 to 4, and then all the way down to 1 to 2 as we work out towards the Cape. Of course, those numbers can change. Still a few days here before the storm moves in, but just be aware this is going to be an accumulating and plowable snow. Here we go into Sunday morning. Cold start, upper teens. A little area of snow could push in throughout the afternoon. Just some scattered flurries. We make it all the way up to 40, though, in Framingham, Boston. You're right around 39 degrees, so a warmer day to be expected here as we go into your Sunday. But then Monday morning, waking up to around the middle 20s, a clear sky. Monday's the dry day. It's the break in between a little snow Sunday and some more snow for Tuesday. Monday, 35 degrees, partly cloudy. Tuesday, a first alert, 37 degrees. We have the snow coming down. This is the biggest one of the season, if you can believe that. As much as 3 to 6 and even as much as 6 to 8 inches once you get some elevation in parts of Worcester County. Wednesday, Thursday, we warm it right back to near 50 degrees. So Darren, a little taste of winter. It doesn't last long.
All right, we think this is going to be the big one before we finally get some warm weather heading into spring. I don't know, what do you think? Well, check the weather anytime by downloading the NBC 10 Boston app. It could come in handy with all this wintry weather expected. And with the storm on the way, you can access the radar and latest weather reports right there on your phone. All you need to do is scan the QR code on your screen. And hard to think about warm weather right now, but there's one sign of warm weather and spring. That's because Sullivan's Castle Island is back open. The South Boston restaurant closed for the season. It closed back in November.
Every year, family tradition, come over to Sully's to get a couple of dogs. Definitely want onions.
And this is exciting. A new Sullivan's location will also be opening for the first time this spring. That'll be in Hanover on Washington Street. And Massachusetts Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley will be in Los Angeles tonight for the 54th NAACP Image Awards. The Hair Tales from Hulu is nominated for the Outstanding News Information Image Award. Pressley was featured in the program where she discussed her struggles with hair loss. The award ceremony starts at 8 on BET. And a very unique demonstration by the TSA involving four-legged passengers. That's as the agency showed the best way for people to travel with their pets. Believe it or not, TSA agents say they are finding more pets being placed through airport X-ray machines. That is something you should never do. I'm sure most of you know that. Instead, you need to take your pet out of the carrier, put the carrier on the belt, and then carry or walk your pet through the metal detector.
Well, of course, you don't want to expose your poor little pet to X-rays that they don't need. I can assure you that the TSA officers who see that on the X-ray screen are quite shocked, and then you've got to start over anyway.
So if your pet is a bit skittish, you can request a screening in a private room to help ease the security process. Up next, the new year got people thinking about working out, but some can't stick to the resolution. Stay with us for advice on how you can get out of that gym membership without breaking a sweat.
Get First Alert Weather, only on NBC 10 Boston.
Welcome back. So Bruins star Brad Marchand is facing a hefty fine from the NHL. The league says he'll have to pay $5,000 for what they're calling a dangerous trip. This happened Thursday night. It led to a fight where both players got ejected. Marchand's fine is the maximum penalty allowed. In a little while, both of Boston's first-place teams will be back in action. The Celtics are in Philadelphia for a big matchup with the 76ers. That game starts at 8:30 tonight, and the Bruins are looking to extend their 5-game winning streak out in Vancouver against the Canucks. They hit the ice at 7 o'clock tonight. A real nail-biter in L.A. last night. The Kings squeaking out a win over the Clippers in double overtime. The final score was 176 to 175, very close there, making it the second highest scoring game in NBA history. The teams also hit 44 three-pointers, which is tied for the most in league history. If you were wondering, the highest scoring game in NBA history was in 1983 when Detroit beat Denver 186 to 184 in triple overtime. And if you joined a gym this year with the goal of working out 5 days a week, that's ambitious, but you're starting to realize that you're not as motivated as you thought you were. NBC 10's consumer investigative reporter Leslie Gatiss has everything you need to know about canceling that gym membership and also saving a little money.
Those New Year resolutions to join a gym, lose weight, and get fit fade fast.
And by March, something like 67% of gym memberships are already going unused.
Julie Ramhold at Deal News says gyms make it easy to join in person, online, on their app. So what's it like canceling?
Speaking from experience, it is not fun.
Consider One National Fitness Center chain. It lets you easily start a membership online. It lets you easily upgrade a membership online. But if you want to downgrade or cancel, you have to either go in and do it in person or send them a letter. If you go in person, Julie has a warning.
Be prepared to have to repeat yourself a lot because odds are they're going to throw every tactic at you to try to get you to stay on.
Stand your ground.
Be really polite, but really firm.
When your firm politeness wins, make sure you get proof of your cancellation in writing. If the gym tells you have to pay a cancellation or breakup fee, how much should be outlined in the contract you signed in the beginning? You can try to negotiate that fee. If you get a new number, make sure you get it in writing. Then get a receipt that shows you paid in full. And there should be no fee if you just signed up. Under Massachusetts law, you can cancel a club contract within 3 days of signing. To cancel, you need to send by certified mail, return receipt requested, or deliver in person a written notice of cancellation. Kevin Brassler with Consumers Checkbook says canceling by mail may be a hassle, but it's your best defense.
Just send it via certified mail. It seems very old-fashioned, but that way you have a record of trying to quit.
Leslie Gatiss, NBC 10 Boston.
All right, well, comedian John Mulaney is gearing up for a new comedy special after the break, where he'll be taping his new stand-up show right here in Massachusetts. Welcome back. Comedian John Mulaney will be in Boston tonight to film a comedy special. He took to Instagram to say his From Scratch special will be recorded at Boston Symphony Hall. It will be filmed over 3 shows, 1 today and 2 tomorrow. When his tour came through Boston in 2021, he set a Wilbur Theater record of 21 sold-out shows. And you're a fan of his SNL character, Stefan, right?
Right. So Boston's hottest nightclub is your 10-day forecast.
I was actually going to ask you to do an impression, but you just did it on your own. All right.
There you go.
That's great.
The 10-day forecast, and that hottest nightclub includes 3 to 6 inches of snowfall on Tuesday. It's got everything here, plowable snow, cold temperatures. But then, like every other 10-day forecast, it's going to warm right back up Wednesday and Thursday. Thursday's high near 50 with some rainfall. Friday, 42. We got maybe a little mix there. I see that as mainly rain, though. And look how mild it continues to be into next weekend as well. We're in the middle and the upper 40s, probably touching upon 50 again by next Monday and Tuesday. So if you're a snow fan, you get one. And that's going to be Tuesday. One plowable snow event for the season. Maybe something else pops up a little further down the pike. But I mean, look at some of those longer range numbers, right? We're going to keep things on the milder side. And I do think that there's 2 opportunities, both on Thursday and by next Tuesday, to see 50 degrees again. So you need the cold. There's just not a lot of it, Darren. Still not seeing it.
Very strange. I saw that 50 over there at the end of the forecast. Well, it's all the time we have here tonight at 6. Thanks for joining us. I'm Darren Battelli here, Justin Godneck. We'll see you back here tonight at 11. But first, NBC Nightly News starts right now.
Tonight, a historic storm slams the state of California. Millions still